This is the Construction Leading Edge podcast from constructionleadingedge.com and constructionbusinessaccelerator.com. My name is Todd DeWalt, and it's my job to help construction business owners eliminate chaos and maximize revenue, or maximize revenue and eliminate chaos. Here's what I've got for you today. I'm going to answer some of the most commonly asked questions that I get from my coaching clients and people I run into. You're going to learn the answer to this question. I've got 2 or 3 questions here. The first one is, Todd, if you were starting a business, what would you do? Second question is more of a statement. I need to hire someone in the office, either an office manager or an estimator to help me out. What should I do? And the third question is, how can I get my people to be more productive? That is a big one. Some of the answers to these questions will surprise you. I'll take a hard right turn on some of these. So that's what we're going to talk about on this episode. I'm also going to hook you up with some free training resources and some other free resources to help you grow your business. So if you're down with that, let's go. First question. Todd, if you were going to start a new business, new construction business, what would you do? How would you go about it? And this applies for starting from scratch. It would also apply if you are thinking about taking on a new service line in your existing business, or if you're thinking about moving into a new city. Maybe you're going to move your business from one city to the other, or you're thinking about picking up a business in a new market and expanding your reach. So first of all, here's what I wouldn't do. Here are the common mistakes that I've made and common mistakes I see other people making. The first thing I wouldn't do is I wouldn't fall in love with an idea. I wouldn't fall in love with a piece of technology or some solution and then go try to find somebody who wants to pay me for it. That's not what I would do. That is what I call the hammer in search of a nail mentality. You've heard the old saying, to a man with a hammer, every problem is a nail. Well, there's lots of contractors who fall in love with a hammer, some new technology, some solution they're convinced that people will love because they like it. And then they go around trying to find people who are willing to pay them for that. And sometimes they do, but most of the time they're not able to find people because the problem is just not there. Or maybe it's a problem, but people aren't willing to pay for it. So the other thing I would not do is I wouldn't invest a lot of money in something or invest a lot of time until I knew that this was a real problem that people were willing to open up their checkbook for. So here's where I would start. And this answer may surprise you, but here's where I would start. Before I started a new business in a new city or went into a different service line, I'm going to look at what kind of lifestyle do I want? What kind of lifestyle do I want? Do I want a business that has, or do I want a lifestyle that has lots of free time? Do I want to work with tools on? Do I want to sit on a beach and check my phone every once in a while to see how much money is going into the bank account? What do I want? That's what I'm going to ask. Because ultimately, your business is a means to an end to support a lifestyle. It's not an end in and of itself. So that's where I would start. If somebody asked me that question, then if I'm helping them to decide what kind of business to start, I'm going to say, what kind of lifestyle do you want? And then work backwards from there. What is the income that you'll need to support that lifestyle? And then work backwards from there. All right, let's identify what the business looks like that will generate that sort of income to support the lifestyle you want. Because if you don't start with the end in mind, then you're at risk of spending the next 2 to 3 years building a business only to find that you've created a monster that you hate. If you want to work in the field, for example, if you want to work with the tools on, and you don't keep that out in front of you as part of the vision, then 2 years down the road, you could end up like I did a long time ago when I started my business, sitting behind a desk, dealing with workman's comp and employee issues and stuff that I hated because I didn't keep that in mind. I started my business because I love to build houses and I love to pour concrete. I love to be out in the field with the guys. And I grew the business quickly to a point where I wasn't able to do the things that I wanted to do. So that's very important. Start with the lifestyle that you want and work backwards from there. I call this operating from right to left. And if you want to find out more about that, I've got a podcast episode. It's episode number 65, where I outline what does right to left thinking look like. I've got some other videos. I think one of the videos in the series, The Secrets of Successful Contractors, talks about right to left thinking. You can get that by going to constructionleadingedge.com/owner. Sign up for that video series, or just go listen to episode 65 of the podcast, or both, because right to left thinking is fairly revolutionary for a lot of contractors. It's a completely different way of thinking about your business. Not only the lifestyle you want, but also how do you schedule for revenue? How do you design your business so that you always generate a profit and stay out of cash flow problems? So right to left thinking is extremely important. So here's what I would do when I'm thinking about starting a business. I'm envisioning 3 overlapping circles. It's called a Venn diagram, but if you could imagine 3 overlapping circles sort of in this triangular arrangement. One of the circles represents what there is a need for, what people need. The second circle is what I can do. And the third circle is what is profitable. So if you think about, there are some things that might be in one circle or 2 circles, like, for example, people might need a guitar player for their wedding, and I could play guitar, but that's not profitable, so that doesn't make sense. So what we're looking for is what is in the sweet spot, or the wheelhouse, of where those 3 circles overlap. Something there is a need for, something I can do, or something I can learn, and is profitable. That's what we're looking for, okay? So that's the kind of work that we're looking for. Something there's a demand for, something I can do or learn to do, and is profitable. Here's another way I would look at this if I'm looking for a business to get into. Again, I don't want to be a hammer. I don't want to be a guy with a hammer in search of a nail. So the other alternative to that is to pick the kind of people you want to work with. Maybe you like to work with homeowners of a certain demographic. Maybe you like to work with businesses. Maybe you don't like all the drama, and you don't want to sit across the dining room table from someone and have them cry about the dust on their windows from their remodeling project, which is something I've experienced working with homeowners. That's never happened with business owners. So decide, who do you want to work with? And start from there. This is a good place to start. Who do I like to work with? Who has money? Who has problems? Who has the right personality? Who do I get along with? And then start asking them, what are their problems? What are the painful things that they would be willing to spend money to solve? That's what you're looking for. So instead of being the guy with a hammer asking, hey, do you have a nail that I can drive for you? You're going to people knowing that you have a box full of tools, and you're asking, what sort of problems are you dealing with? So this could mean contacting commercial general contractors, for example, and asking them what sort of problems they have. Contacting real estate agents and asking them what sort of problems are their clients having. But look for problems, because people pay money to solve problems and make pain go away. So think of this as an experiment. All right. Let's say you think you like to work with commercial general contractors. Well, take a couple of weeks and do an experiment. Spend 2 weeks, maybe it's 1 hour a day or 2 hours a day, contacting commercial general contractors and asking them, hey, what sort of problems are you having? If you could wave a realistic magic wand to make something go away on your job sites or in your day-to-day routine, what would it be? And if they're having problems, they will probably tell you. And after you talk to 15 or 20 or however many people, you'll start to see some trends. If you find that a lot of these people you want to work with have the same problem, then you might have yourself an idea. You might have yourself a potential service that you can offer that you already know is painful, and then now you need to think about validating this idea. So then you put together an offering, a service. Maybe it's a product. I'm more of a service guy personally, but there may be a product, a physical product, a tool, a piece of equipment, something that you can put together. But more than likely, it's going to be a service. So you would put together an outline of the service that you're going to offer. And in some cases, it could be as simple as remodeling a kitchen. But you might find yourself in a seam in between different trades that doesn't have a well-defined scope of work. For example, doing layout, doing cleanup, doing outsource estimating for people, providing some sort of service that doesn't fall neatly into a slot of a trade that already exists. And then, so you're going to validate this idea and find out, is it profitable? So you've decided that one of the three overlapping circles exists, that there's a demand for it. Next, you want to find out, is it profitable? So start finding out, what is someone willing to pay for this? And a great way to do this is not necessarily to ask them, what are they willing to pay, but to create a value conversation around it. Start selling the value and asking people questions like, what kind of problems is this causing for you? How long has this been going on? What would it be worth to you? How would your business and life be different if you were able to solve this? This is one of the reasons I would recommend starting with business owners. If you're working with contractors, then go talk to the owner of the business, because the owner of the business is the person who's writing the checks. They are feeling the pain. They directly feel the financial pain, but they also directly reap the financial benefit. So one of the reasons to work with business owners is it's much easier to make a financial and a return on investment pitch to them, and also hit the value to them. It's easier to demonstrate the financial value to somebody for solving their problem. So validate this idea, find out if it's profitable or not. Maybe that means bidding on some projects, doing some mock bids if you're doing work that lends itself to that. Find the public bid information and go through the entire bidding process. Just don't submit your bid, and find out where you would land in that process. Or if you're working with businesses or homeowners, start gauging what the price would be, and then validate the idea, and ultimately do what you got to do to find out if it's profitable. And then once you have an idea that you know there's a demand for and you're reasonably confident is profitable, then you start generating leads. Start finding more of those people, qualifying them, and begin to turn the crank. And before long, if you have a valid idea and a valid market, then you should be able to generate some business. So if you want some more help on how to qualify leads, how to develop referral partners, this is my number one lead generation strategy that doesn't involve any sort of advertisement, developing a referral partner network, then you should go grab your copy of the Contractor Sales Accelerator, which you can get free as part of a 10-day trial for the Construction Business Accelerator program. You can get that at constructionbusinessaccelerator.com. There's an entire video series on selling, how to generate leads, how to qualify leads so you don't waste time running down leads that don't ever go anywhere, how to develop referral partners, how to sell on value. That is huge. Go get that at constructionbusinessaccelerator.com and go to the Contractor Sales Accelerator. So now, here are some of the things that I would look for. Since the question was, Todd, what would you do if you were starting a business? These are some things that would be the indicators that something's in my wheelhouse. I'm going to look for recurring revenue or a high lifetime customer value. What that means is, if I'm going to spend the time and energy and money and resources to acquire a customer, then I would like for them to pay me money more than once, more than for just one project. So I'm looking for recurring revenue. That could mean maintenance, service, repair, rehabilitation, annual contracts, things like that. I'm looking for recurring revenue, not just one and done. So that could be a combination of initial new build and then long-term maintenance and service. That's what would be in my wheelhouse. I'm also looking for work that has good referral partners available. What is a referral partner? That's a long conversation that is covered well in the Construction Business Accelerator program. I also don't want to compete with the big boys. I don't want to go up against billion-dollar companies. I don't want to go up against large general contractors. Actually, I want to compete with idiots. That's what I want to do. I want to compete with idiots. And if you're doing certain types of work, whether that, well, I don't know what that might be, but chances are with a little bit of professionalism and communication and follow through, you can make the rest of your competition look like idiots. So I don't want to compete with the big boys. I actually want to partner with them. I want to figure out what problems do the big boys have and then help them solve those problems. Because the thing about the big boys, the big contractors, is they have well-funded, well-oiled business development machines. And I don't want to compete against that, but I want to ride the coattails of the big business development operations. And when it comes to competition, you may think, well, I want to find some type of work where there is no competition. I want to be the only guy doing it. Well, that's probably stupid, because if there's no competition, that's a pretty good indication that nobody cares about it. And that's a pretty good symptom that you are a guy walking around with a hammer in search of a nail that nobody has. So some competition is good. You don't want to compete with the big boys. You want to compete with idiots, but there should be some idiots out there to compete with. If you are the only person offering this, then chances are there is not a problem that you're trying to solve. And this may sound a little coarse. Don't take it this way. This is not my analogy. I didn't come up with this. But I want to sell insulin to diabetics. Okay? I don't want to sell sugar cookies. I want to sell insulin to diabetics. I want to sell something that people need, that there is a real demand for. It's not a nice to have. It's not aspirational. It is an absolute necessity. It is solving a very painful problem. So that is the answer to the question, Todd, what would you do if you were going to start a business? Hope that helps you. If you want some more tools to design that business, one of the best places to start is with the Revenue Maximizer. I mentioned operating your business from right to left, podcast episode 65. If you want a template to actually design your business from right to left that starts with your lifestyle, your personal income, and then works into an annual revenue target and gives you the tools to develop a sales plan and also to develop monthly revenue targets, and gives you a way to create a plan that will, when you execute on this plan, you will stay out of and get out of and stay out of cash flow issues. You will put profit in the bank and you will drive your business forward. The Revenue Maximizer module of the Construction Business Accelerator is the tool for that. That's exactly what it is. It is the embodiment of operating your business from right to left. You can get your hands on that for free when you get a 10-day free trial of the Construction Business Accelerator. Just go to constructionbusinessaccelerator.com and grab your free trial there. All right, next question is, Todd, I need to hire someone in the office to help me out. Maybe it's an office manager or an estimator, but I need to hire somebody. This is a real common statement that I hear. And my initial response is probably not, or at least not yet. There are a couple of things that you should do before you hire somebody. Here's a 5-step process before you hire somebody in the office. Frankly, before you hire anybody, I recommend you do this. So the first step is to investigate. You need to audit your time. Audit the time of the people in your company. If you're in this situation where you think you need to hire an office manager or an estimator or a project manager, then look at how you are spending your time. How are the people in your office spending their time? Audit their time. What are they spending time on? And then look at the activities that are either below their pay grade or below their skill level. Okay? And then the first thing we're going to do is we're going to eliminate some tasks. What can be eliminated? One of my favorite quotes is from Peter Drucker, a management and productivity expert, and he said, there is nothing more useless than doing something efficiently that should not be done at all. So there's nothing more useless than doing efficiently that which should not be done at all. So chances are you're working very efficiently, very effectively on something, and it may not need to be done at all. So just eliminate it. Stop doing it. If you're not really clear on why you should be doing something, then just stop. See what happens. So step 1, investigate. Step 2, eliminate. Step 3 is automate. If there are repetitive tasks, like especially any sort of duplicate data entry, if somebody is entering a piece of data, some information, more than once, then that is a prime candidate for automation. Look at your timesheets and job site reporting and anything involving information, the flow of information. Chances are good there's some technology out there that will help you automate that process. Next is to delegate. Look at what you're doing, what the people in your office are doing, or what the people on your team are doing, and delegate it. Roll those things down to somebody else. You may need to load shed. This process of load shedding, this is an electrical term I talked about in depth on a previous episode, maybe episode 48 of the podcast. But load shedding means to divert load from one part of the system to another part of the system when the system is strained, when the capacity of the system is strained. So that means instead of hiring, let's say, a project manager, you may be able to hire an admin. You may find that you and your superintendent and your project manager are spending a lot of time doing administrative tasks, and instead of hiring another person to do that stuff, hiring a project manager to do that administrative stuff, you may pull your administrative duties off your plate, off your project manager's plate, off your superintendent's plate, and hire somebody else. Put together a job description for a support person or an admin person and look for them, because yes, you may have to hire somebody, but hiring an admin or a support person, they're going to be much easier to find, easier to train, shorter learning curve, and probably a lot less expensive than a project manager or estimator or superintendent. And then the fifth step is what I call outsource and reallocate. You may not need to hire somebody. What you may need to do is outsource something you're currently doing to a third party, to a company that specializes in that, and then reallocate the resource you already have to do what needs to be done. A couple of examples would be bookkeeping. Maybe you are doing your own bookkeeping, or you have someone in your office who is keying in invoices and doing the bookkeeping, and maybe they're not doing it all that great. So one strategy would be, let's outsource the bookkeeping to somebody who can do it better than us, give us the job cost reports that we need, and do it less expensive than we can. So, for example, one company that specializes in bookkeeping for construction businesses is the Apparatus Contractor Services team. I send a lot of my clients to them. They specialize in doing payroll, reporting and bookkeeping for small construction businesses. So if that's you, go to constructionleadingedge.com/headache. You can find out a little bit more about them if you want to offload your payroll and bookkeeping headaches. But the way that would look would be you would outsource the bookkeeping and then reallocate. That would free up time for the people you already have so they can do something else. So another way this would work would be to outsource estimating. There are companies that specialize in doing outsourced estimating. They'll do quantity takeoffs for you. They're not necessarily going to price your work, I don't think, but they can do a lot of the legwork. They can assemble information, do 50, 60, 70% of the work so you can price it. So outsource that and reallocate your time to something else. There are also virtual assistants available to do just about anything that you need, whether that's social media, virtual receptionists to answer phones. There are people working from home all over the world, and they can probably take care of the admin duties. If it involves technology or it can be done remotely, go find somebody and outsource that work to them. Find a virtual assistant. Google virtual assistant receptionist or virtual assistant social media construction. Go look for it. Chances are you'll find it. Go on LinkedIn and look for those people. Chances are they are out there. And I'm actually doing a live training on this topic where I'll talk more about what I call the skilled workforce delusion. I've found that we don't necessarily have a people problem. We have a process problem. So there are lots of things that you can do other than hiring people. In fact, hiring people may not solve your problems. It could make it worse. And if you don't do it right, if you don't solve some of the real underlying problems, then hiring more people could break your business. So to find and register for some of those free trainings that are coming up, go to constructionleadingedge.com/training, and you can sign up for either an upcoming live webinar that I'm going to be doing on this topic. I also have other webinars that are recorded and you can watch in on demand. All right, third question. Todd, I need my people to be more productive. So do you need your people to be more productive? Would you like them to be more productive? Do you see, or at least maybe you feel like they're not being productive and you think, damn, I wish they could just work harder, work faster, be more productive? Well, here's a surprising answer about, it's a story about 8 pickles. And the lesson that I learned about communication and productivity from 8 pickles. All right. So every week, twice a week, my 14-year-old daughter has volleyball practice, and we've developed this tradition of going to Chick-fil-A after volleyball practice at least one night a week. And she's a big Chick-fil-A fan. I don't eat much fast food typically, but I decided that I really like their pickles. And the best way to deliver the pickles, my favorite way of getting pickles from Chick-fil-A, is on a spicy chicken sandwich. So first time I went through, I just ordered a spicy chicken sandwich. It comes with pickles. And on the way home, I found out no pickles. So, all right, made a point. The next time I went through the drive-thru, okay, I want a pickle sandwich with a piece of spicy chicken on it. I really like the pickles, like Brandon or whatever the kid's name was. I want pickles. Extra pickles, please. Yes, sir. It's my pleasure. Our pleasure to serve you. Opened it up, and there were like 4 pickles on there. There were maybe a couple of extra pickles, but obviously extra pickles wasn't descriptive enough. So the next time I went through, and actually every time since then, my order goes like this. I would like a spicy chicken sandwich with 8 pickles. And you know what? When the 14-year-old did a quality control check for me, there were 8 pickles. When I ask for 8 pickles, I get 8 pickles. So what does this have to do with anything? Well, this is a lot like telling your people, you need to be more productive. You need to be more efficient. You need to start sooner. You need to end faster. You need to do something vague. Okay? More productive, more efficient, better quality. It's relative. You probably don't even know exactly what you want. They certainly don't know what you want. And it's just too vague. So what you need to do is be more descriptive and clearly define what does winning look like. You need to tell your people, this is what winning looks like. If you do this, you will be winning. This could be production targets, could be schedule milestones, a variety of things. But here's one of my favorite ways. This is something that you can do today with your crew. You could figure this out in a few minutes and get started helping your crews be more productive. And it's by picking what I call a Keystone habit. So the way you would figure this out would be to look at your operation and look at the good days. What was a productive day? And then deconstruct that, reverse engineer it, and find out, what did we do? What are some of the trends? If we have 10 good days a month, what happened on those 10 days that put us in a position to have a good day? And then you create a Keystone habit around that. So here are a few examples of Keystone habits. If you pour concrete, then maybe you do flat work. Your Keystone habit could be, we have concrete on the ground at 5 a.m. That's a Keystone habit. It's measurable. It's not vague. You can, at 5 a.m., you can walk out to the job site and say, do we have concrete on the ground? Yes or no? And if having concrete on the ground at 5 a.m. sets you up for success, then you tell your guys, winning looks like we have concrete on the ground at 5 a.m. And that drives the prep work, and it's like pushing a snowball off the top of the mountain. It starts to develop its own momentum. Another one that I've used would be, all right, if you have a mobile workforce that comes to the shop, they load up equipment and tools and then head out, then you can say winning looks like everybody is out of the yard on the road by 7:15 a.m. I don't want to see anybody in here at past 7:15 a.m. And that will drive productivity. That's going to keep guys from sitting around, drinking coffee, smoking cigarettes, talking, whatever that might be. That gets them moving in the right direction. If you're working at a commercial job site, for example, you might say, we have a toolbox safety talk at 7 a.m. You're going to talk for 5 minutes. Gang box gets opened up right after that, and everything gets moving. So you got to be at the toolbox safety talk at the gang box 7 a.m. That's going to set you up for success and drive things moving forward. If you do excavation or utility work, you might say the first truck starts being loaded at 7:30 a.m. I want dirt, rock, gravel, whatever, hitting the bed of that dump truck 7:30 a.m. That's going to drive things forward. So the key is stop being vague, be very specific, clearly define what winning looks like, create some Keystone habits for your crew that will set them up for success. That is either yes or no. Did we do it? It's 6 a.m. We don't have concrete on the ground. We're not winning. What's the problem? Then you can start to dig into that and find out what those problems are. And you'll be amazed what happens when the people on your crew know what winning looks like. It'll be huge. So if you want some more resources, some more training on how to improve crew productivity, what are some of the real root causes of productivity problems? A couple of things. One, go sign up for the webinar. It's not a people problem, it's a process problem about the skilled workforce delusion. I want to walk through a root cause analysis of bad productivity, and you'll be surprised what the actual root cause is of bad productivity. And then also get yourself a free trial of the Construction Business Accelerator. You can grab the Crew Productivity Booster series, which is a bunch of tips on dealing with the actual root causes of low productivity. There's also the project execution formula that will give you a process you can use to plan your work further in advance. And so let me recap some free resources. Well, actually, before I do that, if you have a question that you would like me to answer on the podcast, then go to constructionleadingedge.com. There's a contact button there somewhere. Fill out that form, send me the question, and I will answer that question. If you are a construction business owner and you want some help growing your team, eliminating chaos, putting the revenue maximizer in place, taking your business to the next level, either having more time or more money or get out of cash flow crunch, whatever that might be, then I want to help you out. And the best way I can do that is for us to get on the phone for a free strategy call. And you can do that by going to constructionleadingedge.com. And then there's a red button on the home page, schedule a free call. And we'll get on the phone. You'll be able to schedule a call, and we will get on the phone, talk about what the roadblocks are, and help you develop a plan to move forward. So, free strategy call for construction business owners. Go to constructionleadingedge.com. Find the red button to schedule your free call. Go check out the free trainings that are available at constructionleadingedge.com/training. We'll talk about this an upcoming live webinar series that I'll be doing on the skilled workforce delusion. There are also webinars available on how to boost revenue 27% without hiring more people or finding new customers, how to build a healthy backlog of high margin work, and a few other things. So you can grab that at constructionleadingedge.com/training. And if you want to get the revenue maximizer or the crew productivity booster or the project execution formula, then you need to go grab your free 10-day trial of the Construction Business Accelerator over at constructionbusinessaccelerator.com. This is going to be going fast. If you haven't signed up for it yet, you are missing out. There's like $9,000 worth of training in there, and I would encourage you to go grab your free trial today. And the last thing I want to tell you about is something I'm really excited about. It's a live 2-day event in Fort Myers, Florida, April 12th and 13th. It is the Advance Spring 2019 for construction business owners and leaders. 2-day live event in sunny Florida, not far from the beach. And you're going to be, if you attend, you're going to be in a group of like-minded construction business owners. You're going to be able to hear how they're doing it, hear what they're struggling with, find out how somebody else has already dealt with what you are currently dealing with so you don't have to make expensive mistakes. You're also going to get 2 days of training on how to master your mindset, how to upgrade your psychology, how to stop taking yourself out of the game and upgrade your mindset, how to build a healthy backlog of high margin work, how to sell on value, how to talk about your service in such a way that you will get less price pressure and people will see you as the only option that they want to work with. We'll talk about how to get to the true root cause of the chaos in your business and then put systems in place to make it go away, and a whole bunch of other stuff. 2 full days. It's going to be transformative. Go to constructionbusinessaccelerator.com/advance to get more details about that. Hurry though, the price is going up soon. The sooner that you book your spot, the more money you can save. So go to constructionbusinessaccelerator.com/advance and grab your spot for this 2-day live event for construction business owners and leaders in Florida. And that is all I have for you. Go take advantage of these resources. If you have questions, go to constructionleadingedge.com, hit the contact button, send them to me. Go book your free strategy call if you're a construction business owner, and I hope to see you at the Advance in Florida, April 12th and 13th. My name is Todd DeWalt. Thank you so much for listening. I appreciate the messages. I appreciate the emails and the ratings and reviews. If you could take a minute and leave a review on iTunes or the podcast player of your choice, that helps get the word out to the rest of the interwebs. And I like to hear from you too. So let me know how I can help you. Todd from constructionleadingedge.com. I will see you next time.